Okay, folks, what an action-packed week has been. Welcome to Pablo's Island. What is happening with Bitcoin? What is happening with the US stock market? What is happening with the economics right around the world? It's been a very action-packed week. As we can see, Bitcoin here is kind of breaking into a new low overnight. So what is actually happening with everything? As always, this is Pablo He-Man coming from Pablo's Island. Beautiful view, as we can see. Yeah, and okay, without further ado, let's get right into it. Wow, what an action-packed week it's been, eh? It's probably been like more than a week since I've done one of these videos, because I usually try to do one every week or so, but that's because, well, if you've been following me on my socials, or if you've been following me in my Discord, it's been a crazy 2 weeks. And so first of all, by the way, this video goes straight to my Discord first, and in about 2 days, I put it out into the public. So when you're watching this, you're probably, watching it 2 days from when I said this, and a lot has happened probably, because everything's going crazy right now. So for example, right now, we've just had the test overnight on Bitcoin at this 15K area, and 15.4, 5K area. It's held, made a long tail here to the downside, upward hammer, bottoming tail, whatever you want to call it. And it can actually bounce from here, hold this as a double bottom, and bounce up and retest the 17K area again. Why? Because everyone's so bearish right now. It wouldn't surprise anyone to say that, to see Bitcoin break down, go to 14K or 13K. If it was to break down, go to 14K, 13K, as usually, it's going to be the large numbers that are going to get defended, like 15.0, 14.0, 13.0, those sort of numbers on the way down, because that's just how whales usually place their orders on Bitcoin books, unless they see a very specific level. So I think last time we spoke, last video, I covered the levels on the way down for Bitcoin. So eventually, I do think we get down to, come on. Internet is a little bit slow because I'm on an island here. Come on. Eventually, let's say if it gets to this, 12.5-ish area, it might bounce there, because that's a very specific area. We can see, come on. Oh yeah, there we go. Finally updating it. Because that's a very specific area, because you had a lot of tops and bottoms here. So I figured that as a major support area. I'm saying it'll go there eventually. Judging by today's performance, in the very short term, as in the next few days, it could actually bounce, because I'll just get back to the 4-hour chart. Because as we've seen, so when Bitcoin broke down below 17K and went to 15.5 a few weeks ago, this is 2 weeks ago, it started making this pennant. That was a typical bear pennant. In theory, should break down and go one more leg down like this. However, it was basically over the last 12 hours or so, it was a case of sell on rumor, buy on news. So the rumor was that Genesis was going to go bankrupt, which I've warned many times in my social media videos, in Discord, and then it announced about 12 hours ago, it is going bankrupt unless it finds $1 billion within like 24 hours or something, which isn't going to happen. So basically, it's been sold. That news has been sold. As the market confirms the news, which everyone was expecting, and if you're in my Discord, if you've been watching my videos, you certainly have been expecting it as well, there's a temporary relief, so we bounce up. And this is only a 4-hour chart, but when we look at this, we find there are two support levels. One is this blue line. Where is this blue line? This blue line is the channel that Bitcoin has been traveling down in. I'm using a log chart, by the way, so this massive channel all the way from 69K, see how many times it's bounced off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The recent at 15.5K, 5, and now 6. It's made us bounce at the 6th time now as well. Small bounce. And it's not just because it's bounced off this bottom trend line 6 times. This also acted as a top 3 times. So I consider this channel to be valid. But however, keep in mind, look at this. This is a daily chart, by the way. This is what happened in last July. We've had Bitcoin crash to 30K, and I thought it was going to go to 20K right there and then. Turns out I was wrong. Bounces up, and then it tests that 29K area again, right? Doesn't go through, and then it bounces up. This is on a daily chart, by the way. So, and then it makes a big run. Here, we're looking at the same sort of pattern, but on a daily chart, it looks like this. So not much to look at. But if we were to, so one thing supporting the market is this blue line here, right? We can see it bounced off once, bounced off twice. But if we were to turn that into a 4-hour chart, so this is obviously for the very short term. I'm saying for the next, say, 3 days, 5 days, it's possible we get a bounce because, see this is looking like May to July last year, 2021. Because what happened was, again, think of this as a 30K support area, 30K, 29K area. Like me, a lot of people said it was going to go down to 20K. It's like saying right now, people think it's going to go to 12K, which it will eventually, because it went to 20K eventually, right? That's where we're at right now, at 15K. But however, what could happen is we do the same sort of pattern, go slightly lower, take out the the shorts, all the short orders around here, makes people think it's going to go low, and then bounce here and go up to 17, even 18K is possible, as long as we stay underneath this area, and then build up momentum and go down again. So markets never go down almost never goes down when everyone is bearish. Everybody's bearish right now. We're all expecting really bad news, and I think we are all right in the longer term. We're all right in the longer term. In the short term, it might actually probably bounce a little first. So here's the thing. This was Bitcoin at 17K, and then bounced up to 25, and then came down. See how this whole area here, around, say, from 18.16, that's called 18.2, to 18.7. This $500 area, this zone, has supported Bitcoin pretty much since June 18th, right? Since June 18th. Then it broke down in November 8th. So that's like almost 5 months of support, almost half a year it's been bouncing here. And then we broke down. As long as it stays, so obviously it was support for 5 months, and now it's going to turn into resistance, key resistance. So as long as Bitcoin bounces and stays below this area, then we're not really in much of a bull territory. We're still pretty bearish. But however, that doesn't mean it goes down straight away. It's broken this pennant. There's every chance it goes down. It's broken this support line as well, but held the double bottom and bounced up. I'm just saying this pattern looks like it could be similar to June 2021, where Bitcoin went to test 30K. Everybody, including me, thought it was going to go to 20K right away, but then it bounces from there and holds that 29K area and bounces up. We could see that. One more reason why I think so is because let's look at what's happening in the US dollar. Why hasn't Bitcoin crashed yet? With everything that's going on, with so much crap going on, why hasn't Bitcoin crashed by now? Well, Bitcoin hasn't crashed because, look at this. Oh, let me change that to a daily. This is the US dollar, and as I've always been saying, it's a indicator of risk on or risk off. So basically, this was a major support trend line from February this year. So it's been support for like 8 months, and it finally broke down in November, which I was saying in my last video, it looks like it's breaking down. And once this breaks, we can tell how significant this is. If this reverses, if the US dollar goes down, then basically stocks bounce and crypto bounces, which is why we've seen the SP 500 make a massive bounce. It's like made a 10-12% bounce, which is massive for SP 500 in the last 2 weeks. However, Bitcoin hasn't bounced much. In fact, it's gone down a little bit, is because the US dollar is actually topping out. The thing is, that's the only reason why Bitcoin hasn't gone to 12K. If the US dollar didn't break down, if the US dollar held around here, then Bitcoin would be at 12K right now, like maybe even lower. Because if you've been watching my videos, you know this, US dollar, a rising US dollar, it means risk off, means stocks are down, means crypto is down. A falling US dollar means somewhat risk on, which means crypto bounces and stock market bounces. So stock market did bounce, but because there's so much news, bad news is FTX, FTT, then it's been supporting the crypto market. If you're wondering long term what I think would happen, I think it makes a double top and then go down, kind of like what happened in Bitcoin last year, kind of like what happened with oil prices last year, a double top in the US dollar. So that means we're going to see more pressure on the stock market and on crypto in the next few months. But for now, my thinking is it does a bounce up to around 108, maybe even as high as 109. That's going to, make stocks and crypto go down a little bit, put downward pressure on them. And then when it comes down to, say, 104 or 103 area, right, it's gonna basically, remember, when US dollar falls, it's gonna push up stocks, push up Bitcoin. So basically, because of this reason, I think it is also possible Bitcoin can have a bounce, but no higher than this area. It might bounce somewhere there to 17.2, 17.1, 17.2, or at most 18.2. That's one possibility to keep in mind. Now, what's been happening in the last few weeks is basically the collapse of FTX. I've made a lot of videos about that. Look at this. So I was making those videos when it was around 22, 23, and now it's at $1.20. So the thing is, I'm not actually even sure why why it's still at $1.20, because at $1.20 it assumes FTX has a value of $400 million, right? When it should be practically near zero right now. So I have no idea why that is happening. Going forward, the bounce I'm talking about might happen over the short term. Next 3 days, next 2 weeks at most. Overall, I am expecting some very big breakdowns in crypto, of the institutions of crypto. FTX was just the start. I know a lot of people out there think it's FUD, but I think by now you should know me. You should know me very well by now, because I was one of the first guys to say, okay, Bitcoin going to 20K. Okay, I was early on that, but it did happen. I didn't get the timing right. But if you were in my Discord, you remember I said clearly for the first half of this year, I said Bitcoin's basically going to bounce between 30K to 50K, and then there's a 40% chance it breaks below 40K. And as we just saw, that's exactly what it did for the first 6 months. And then the last 15 days, in the last 2 weeks of the first half of 2022, it broke down below 20K. Below 30K. And then I said, Luna's going to go to zero, and it happened in May. And then I said, this FTX thing, it's practically going to zero, because the word I heard is that CZ hates Sam Bankman-Fried, and he's going to try to kill him. It's practically near zero now. It's like 1.2, but I think it should. I mean, I don't understand why it's even at 1.2. Should go to zero. So the other thing is, If you're in my Discord, you've probably heard about this already, but I just want to warn everybody because I think this is really serious. Now, this thing here, see, we have a number of bombs which are yet to explode, and this is like one of them. So all of this dumping of Bitcoin right now is happening because Grayscale, which holds the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, they're actually the largest legal holders of Bitcoin out there. They hold 634,000 Bitcoins, or about just over $10 billion in Bitcoin, and they refuse to show their proof of reserves, which is sparking collapse fears. And it's more than that. So SEC is charging this company, accounting company called Friedman LLP, right? Because of improper professional conduct in two public companies they did audit for. Remember this name, Friedman LLP, because it's important. SEC charges Friedman LLP for, there's more news. Why is it important? Because Friedman LLP used to be the auditor for Tether. For Tether, they're fined here again $1 million for accounting malpractice. Against Friedman LLP. Now, if they were the former auditor for Tether, who are they auditing now? Right? Who are they auditing now? Here again, Tether has dissolved relationship with Friedman LLP. So they used to be the auditor for Tether. So are you ready? Guess who? Guess who are they auditing now? Friedman LLP appointed auditor for the Bitcoin Investment Trust, Grayscale, right? Grayscale. So that's why the market is panicking right now. It's basically the same guys who used to audit Tether, and now they're auditing Grayscale. So I just want you guys to know how bad this situation is. This is a company that keeps on getting fined by the SEC for not doing proper accounting, and they used to do the accounting for Tether, and Tether has been banned in New York, banned in Canada, banned in so many places. There are just too many red flags with Tether, and then basically now they're involved with Grayscale, this Friedman LLP. They're the accountants for Grayscale, and Grayscale is related. It's all owned by one company called DCG, and they own Grayscale, they own Genesis. Genesis has just declared bankruptcy, right? And they use the same accountant as Tether, and that's the same accountant that's been fined over and over again by the SEC. You can say it's FUD, but my personal conclusion is I think it's highly, highly suspicious. Keep in mind, when I said all of this, everyone said it was FUD. I said Bitcoin's going to 20K. I said Luna's going to 0. I said FTX practically going to practically 0. Nobody wanted to hear it. I said Solana's going to crash because, what's his name? FTX holds a lot of Solana. Okay, people don't want to listen. Then they find out it's too late. Okay, now, let's see, what's another one we could look at? Here. So just keep in mind, this Silvergate is also in a lot of trouble. This is a bank called Silvergate Bank. And look at all the companies, Coinbase, FTX, Circle, that's USDC. Circle issues the other stablecoin, USDC. Paxos issues the other stablecoin called BUSD. Crypto.com, Gemini, Kraken, Bitstamp. Okay, look at, this is who Silvergate is. Check this out. Silvergate. So Silvergate is a bank. Oh, hang on. Yeah, Silvergate is a bank that's registered member of the New York Federal Reserve. So yeah, Silvergate is in a bunch of trouble because this is their stock price. Look at this. I mean, they used to be around at the high $239, $240, and now at $24. 90% fall. And that's from what? From November 2021, right? Essentially, they've gone down just like Bitcoin. They've followed the same pattern as Bitcoin, down 90%. This is a Wall Street bank we're talking about. It's a member of the Federal Reserve. So, and if you look at what is actually happening with them, if Silvergate, I just show you, collapses, and there are a lot of internal problems with Silvergate. I've mentioned a lot about this in my Discord. If you're not in my Discord, maybe look at one of my videos or just have to do some research on your own. Silvergate is connected to FTX. FTX has already gone down, right? Coinbase's stock price has been smashed. There are rumors of crypto.com going down. Rumors, could be true. I think it's true. Gemini has already stopped withdrawal. We all know that, right? Gemini, what is called Gemini trading, Gemini lending has already stopped withdrawals. Think about that. You can't withdraw your money from Gemini lending anymore. FTX has already gone down. Coinbase stock price has crashed. Then you have Paxos, which issues BUSD, the stablecoin. And you have Circle that issues USDC, the stablecoin, right? And Crypto.com came under a lot of pressure a few days ago. It has withstood that pressure. How long can it last? Just think about what's happening here, guys. I'm not feeling very safe in stablecoins. I used to think SDC, USDC is better than USDT or US or Tether. I have a lot of doubts about Tether, so I got out of USDT. I put everything into USDC and some into BUSD. Now, knowing what I know about Silvergate, I am also very, very worried about the BUSD and USDC. At least I don't think it's 100% safe. I hope for your guys' sake that I'm wrong about this, because I know a lot of you guys are not going to listen to me. You can keep your money in stable coins, which I think it's not the best of idea. If you live in a third world country where the government is collapsing, where the government is going bankrupt, where there's very high inflation, I guess you have to make a choice between holding some stable coin of US dollar or holding your own currency, which is a problem. But for most of you guys who are in United States, UK, Australia, New Zealand, European Union, these countries, it shouldn't be a problem, right? Not financial advice, but I'm just saying these stable coins, at least one of them looks like it's going to have a big blow up. And then you say, oh, Pablo, how can they have a big blow up? How can the top 3 stable coins have a big blow up? Are you dumb? Are you listening? 5 months ago, what's the 3rd largest stable coin in the world? UST. It blew up. It went to 0, right? UST went to 0. Luna went to 0. Okay, so anyways, over the longer term, I'm looking at DCG or Grayscale, Genesis. I think there's a big collapse coming in there somewhere. I think one of the 3 top stable coins will probably have a collapse, will come very close to it, or depeg, at least depeg from $1. Rather than 1-to-1, you may not be able to exchange a 1-to-1. It's probably like go to 0.8 to 1 or 0.7, 0.6 to 1. So which means people lose like 30-40% of their life savings. And also, one of the large exchanges and a few of the smaller exchanges could probably go down. So, things like Crypto.com, Hobby, Gate, I can't name them all, but just be careful with those as well. Get your money off those places. You're better safe than sorry. If you still haven't learned from people who have their money in stable coins like UST, in shit coins like Ponzi coins like Luna, and on exchanges like FTX, if you still haven't learned that lesson, and I've warned about this so many times, then I guess in the end, that's up to you then. As Pablo has always said, if you listen to Pablo along the way, we didn't get every decision right, especially the smaller ones. But hey, Pablo's relaxed right now. Pablo's relaxing on his own little island, enjoying life. And I hope you guys listen to some wisdom, seriously. Okay. Best of luck, guys. I'll catch you on the next episode.